Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back, everybody. She is, without even a doubt, our go-to person when it comes to hair restoration and also knowledge of hair loss. And it affects many of us, or maybe affecting somebody you know. Somebody's hair may be thinning, they're losing their hair. Lots of reasons behind that, and we've explored some of those reasons with her in the past. Today, we're eventually going to talk about products. Do they make a difference? When you spend more, does it make a difference? What do they all do? She is the woman behind great place in New Jersey, Hair Loss Center, NJ.com. And LaRonne Quarles Wright is back with us. How you doing today?
I'm fine. I'm just happy to be here. You know, a lot of people didn't wake up today, so I'm happy for every day.
I love your positivity. Really, you can feel the energy from you and your passion for what you do. What are you hearing? What are you hearing, LaRonne, lately? You know, with clients coming in, what are they experiencing? What's trending now in challenges with hair?
Well, what I get a lot of phone calls about, and we are branching off to be able to perform that type of service. I am skilled in that. However, I cannot do it in this space. I get a lot of requests for PRP treatments and scalp micropigmentation treatments. I perform scalp micropigmentation along with a product called exosomes. Many people are familiar with exosomes, but they are able to kind of replicate what stem cells do for hair, and we're able to utilize that product when we perform that type of treatment. But I get a lot of requests for that surgery. Where can I go? Do you perform it? What can I do about PRP, SMP? So I put a few of those tidbits so that the web crawler can, lead people to me. But yes, I get a lot of requests for products like that or treatments and services like that because people really don't know the other side, the health and wellness side about what it is I do. And when I do get them on the phone, not to ramble, I try to share with them, if you consider visiting us, visit us anyway, along with your treatment plan, because if you don't correct some of the inflammatory issues, some of the hormonal issues, the service that you receive probably won't be received by your hair and scalp as well as it should, because you have a lot of inflammation, X, 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 et cetera, should I say.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to catch those people when they call.
How do you identify inflammation in the body? And we said, before and just now that it can very well be associated with hair loss, hair challenges. How do you know what you got going on?
Of course, much like my original profession being a hairstylist, as soon as I see a client, I'm already dressing in my mind how I would like to style them if I had the chance to style them. It's the same way with trichology. Because I deal with skin and hair and the scalp so often, I can look at a client and understand that they're having issues with redness, inflammation, swelling, the mast cell response, allergies, psoriasis, seborrhea issues when I look at their skin. So most often, I can tell you have inflammation without you knowing it.
Wow.
And most clients that get so used to living with stuff, they don't consider it inflammation. But anything that's red and irritated is inflammation. Anytime you have an itch or some sort of pain or soreness, it's inflammation. Carpal tunnel, glaucoma, it's inflammation. Everything is inflammation. It just depends on how you receive it, but it's all inflammation.
Would you say that we're all dealing with inflammation of some sort?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Wow. Mm-hmm. When we talk about pigmentation or micropigmentation, can you explain that? Give us a better look at that.
Let me see. Let me give you one of my flyers. I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries at all. Getting an education today.
Yeah, the scalp micropigmentation is really for that client who is past the area where they're able to grow their own hair. If you can see this here, I'm not sure if you can see this is one of my flyers.
Sure.
This is for the exosomes. So there are times when I'll have a client who, based on a Norwood scale of hair loss, if anyone has ever heard of that, the Norwood scale, when you research it, if you're past a certain area where we're able to restore it, or you're dealing with the hereditary side, the DHT side of your hair loss, where it has advanced so much where you're not going to be able to do anything natural to restore it. Sometimes you need to, add something else to your regimen. And having the it's like a tattooing service.
Okay.
But along with the tattoo, we insert exosomes. So they help restore and help revitalize any hair follicles that have not ceased to miniaturize. Not every follicle is going through true miniaturization. Some, they need more nutrition. Sometimes they're dealing with the effects of the body's inflammation, so the hair will start to miniaturize. If we can catch that particular follicle while we're doing your scalp micropigmentation, it actually helps to stimulate those follicles that remain.
Wow. What do you do to the follicles that we're talking about, the follicles that are potentially compromised by inflammation and such? What's actually being done?
Well, I perform for all of my clients who wish to get scalp micropigmentation, and they are able to speak with me, and they're much like yourself, they're open minded. I will have them come in to have an assessment so that I can find out what is it that we need to kind of help narrow down in your life to make sure that anything else that you do subsequent to you seeing us will it will work. It will work for you. Even with my PRP, I have dermatologists and surgeons who will consequently send them here because they know that the treatment plan is good. At least that someone is treating their scalp. So it all kind of works together. I want to make sure that if you get PRP or some sort of surgery, that it's well received by the body because you're minimizing all of the troublesome issues that led you there in the first place. That makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely. The inflammation thing is concerning. You hear about it all the time. And we could have so many things going on within our bodies and not even know why it's happening. But it's
Yes.
ultimately getting traced back to some kind of inflammation in the body, which can be traced back to lifestyle, what you're eating. What am I missing? What are the other factors there?
From the two books that I've written, I always try to let everyone know it comes back to an organ. What organ is manifesting your inflammation?
Wow.
Because it
Okay.
comes from an organ and then it just, it branches out. It will affect another system and another system and another system with a domino effect. So it starts in one place.
Is that typically what, okay, so let's look at that, learn about inflammation here. You've got inflammation. Is it typically centered in one organ, let's say the liver, or can it be in many different spots, many different things going on?
It will begin. I like to make it, well, as I've learned in all of my training, I have to kind of break it down so a fifth grader would understand it. So it begins in one of the organs. However, as time goes on, it will grow legs and take another organ with it, and another organ, and another system, and another system, and another system, because no one ever caught the initial reason why you started having all the inflammation and to begin with, why you got sick in the first place. So it happens. And
Wow.
we talked, but you may not remember when I said like it'll start in the stomach, but it will take the liver and the gallbladder with it. Then it will cause an issue with the gut because it's all connected. So, that's where it begins. So is it the gut? Is it the stomach? Is it the liver? So we have to kind of narrow it down. Then I'll ask about the nutrition and what are you eating? What's your blood type? So it grows legs. So I have to track it back to what organ did it begin with?
Wow. That's it. Concerning. That's the word I
Mm-hmm.
got here. It's concerning. Um,
Yeah.
and I can see it. I might have shared with you. I had a virus, got from a coworker. He was coughing. I was like, something's up here. And
Oh,
this is back in October. I rarely get sick.
okay.
I
Yeah.
That was the first time I had a fever in half my life. Like it
Wow.
lasted for about 4 days. Wasn't COVID, wasn't flu, nothing like that.
Right.
What came about from this uh infection, which caused
Mm-hmm.
inflammation. I'm convinced of it. I've been dealing with minor skin cancer for decades. It
Mhm.
kicked it up in a big way, and
Yes,
a
yes,
type of skin cancer I hadn't had before. So dealing with
right.
that, and also aside from having acute laryngitis during this period, um, also my ferritin, my iron level, whoop, went way up, like double what it should be, double from the high point of what it should be. And I
Right.
was at a hematologist. We went back and forth. Uh, Thought it might be a genetic, hereditary kind of thing. No, there's no reason for it. All the other levels are fine. Where is it coming from? Got to be the inflammation from that virus that, kind of messed things up for a period of time. And I'm still feeling the
Right.
effects of it. So, uh,
Hmm.
that's a case I believe that was, just not to say I didn't have inflammation, but previously, but
Right.
that kind of kicked
Yeah.
everything up, the immune system and such. So this stuff is real. We
Yeah.
see
Hmm.
it in
Hmm.
real time. What should we be doing as a just in general with a concern on inflammation, of course, want good quality hair, but how should we be taking care of ourselves when it comes to that?
Well, I will say this. I had a young lady reach out to me, and I try to market as much as I can. As much as I market, I realize there are still so many people who really are not aware of what it is that we do. So I happened to put something out on TikTok of all places. I really didn't want to get into TikTok because I thought it was more trendy for the young people, but I'm finding that I'm getting a lot of traffic from TikTok. People putting in, random things about their hair, and then I'll come up. So I had a young lady reach out to me. I had a consult with her today, and
Huh.
she shared with me that she was having a domino effect of symptoms happening to her. But as soon as she opened her mouth and started explaining her situation, I already told her what it is. But I shared with her if she didn't come in and didn't get a practitioner or a health provider to work on all of those issues, it will subsequently attack the rest of her hair, axillary, armpit, pubic. It will take everything else with it because she was already losing her hair in a pattern where I knew it was attacking her immune system because she already had alopecia ofiasis, and that is a red flag for her immune system is being attacked. But she was explaining to me that this all started in late 2020, early 21 during COVID. So she was having some immune challenges way back when. She started having patchy hair loss. Then she said that her and how I like to share with you, Steve, how all the body's connected. The
Mm-hmm.
circulatory and the lymphatic system subsequently started giving her problems. So she started having soreness in the rear part of her occipital, which is where a lot of the lymph nodes collect. Her lymph nodes collected so much bacteria and waste that it wasn't properly exiting. So it was congested. So she kept having sore throats. She
Oh,
kept having sore throats, sore throats. This was all around COVID. Then she said it manifested beneath her arms, and you can feel when your lymph is congested because it'll be irritated. So beneath her shoulder was very sore. Her neck was sore. But as soon as she started telling me, I knew this already. I said, your immune system. I said, you never fully got over it because she's still having issues now. She's still having random attacks. Her body is attacking her in a manner of sorts. So I say that loosely. So I shared with her, I said, you never fully got over it because she's still having the residual effects of inflammation in the scalp. She said, my scalp's hurt so bad. I said, yes, because you never took care of the issue. So if you have heard of long COVID, that's one of the effects of what clients go through when they have COVID. They'll have the subsequent issues for a year or two because you never took care of it fully. You have to really care for your immune system, detoxify a lot of that out. You really have to spend time with your body and listen to your body when it's telling you things. You have to get on it. So that's why I shared with her. I said, if you haven't gone to a health practitioner, you have to get someone to help you just work this out and eradicate it, fully. And she said her gut is weak, and I shared with you before. The gut is the seat of the immunity. If you don't care for that gut and your waste is not flowing, the rest of the channels can't excrete it.
wow. And to illustrate your point here, um, the the little flare up of skin cancer I have is on my neck,
Hmm.
which is what
Hmm.
near lymph nodes. I had it all checked out. There, it
Okay.
hasn't spread into any of that, but interesting that that's where it is.
Hmm.
And we know our bodies. We know our
Yeah.
bodies. You got to listen to your body. It's trying to tell you something. Uh,
Yes.
let's look at some of the products that
Okay.
you offer, and just in general, would love to know what they do, how they work, do they work, is it worth it?
Yes. So one of these that you mentioned, this is called Trico Pure. This is one of the products that we offer. We have one that we blend in-house that's custom for different types of scalp issues. For example, if I have a client who's dealing with an immunity issue, then I'll blend oils and subsequent products within the Tricho mask for each individual client. This is just a regular one that I, you know, market for all of my clients when they just need something for their scalp because the scalp, if you're not caring for it, just much like the face, the same skin on your face is the same skin that's on your scalp, and people
Hmm.
fail to realize that every so often when you secrete a lot of sebum, and I'll see those clients that have a lot of sebum, a lot of redness because their skin is very oily, you would benefit from something like that on your face and your scalp because if your face is oily, your scalp 9 times out of 10 is very oily, and that helps to kind of dry it up and pull it out with the different clays. They're made with like bentonite clay and apple cider vinegar and different purified water and essential oils inside of these, and they really help to detoxify the skin. And you have to, go in and spend some time with your scalp to loosen up some of the debris, the sweat, the urea, the products, everything you have that just kind of lays across your scalp that gives some clients subsequent problems.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's great realization that the skin on your face is the same as the skin on the top of your head. You wash
Mm-hmm.
your face or should, but how often do we really get into the scalp and massage the
Mm-hmm.
scalp and get deep in there? It's
Right.
covered by hair, so wow, there could be a lot going on there that we're not addressing. And a lot of times,
Mm-hmm.
many of us go in the shower, use some shampoo. We're not really working the shampoo. We just, put it in, rinse it, and we're walking out and off
Yep.
to work. So
And it doesn't always remove everything that clients they'll tell me all the time, oh, I'm using this great shampoo, but I'll look at their scalp and their scalp is covered with layers of yeast, and I can see it, but you won't know it's there unless you have someone who actually scopes or does microscopy or trichoscopy to your scalp.
wow. Um, somebody told me about tea oil shampoo side, something tea leaf or something that makes your scalp
Hmm.
tingly when it's
Okay.
massaged in. Have you ever heard of that? Is it really doing anything or it just feels good?
Yeah, well, like I shared with you last week, I am an ingredient snob. So the first thing I'll do is look at the back of everything to see what the first five ingredients are. Are there any essential oils, and how far down the list will the oils show up? Because they'll put like a drop of a drop of a drop of oil, but they'll say it's tea tree shampoo. Oh yeah, okay. Well, how far down the list does that even,
Yeah.
how far down the list is it to say that it's in there? But yeah, it depends. I like to read the labels to see how many oils and how much of the products are in it, and all of the cocamide, DEA, and all that. I read all that because I need to know what people are using.
What else you got over there?
This is another one. Now, this is called Hair Facts, and this is for men and women. But this is the male kit because it's in blue. We have the women's kit that's in pink, but I didn't want to pull all of them out. Now, this is a nutritional supplement that has everything in it. But as I shared with you maybe a few sessions ago, certain minerals need to be combined together, and they shouldn't all be taken at the same time. I'm not sure if you remember that. Like D3 and K2 need to be consumed together. Let me see what else. Iron and vitamin C need to be consumed together. So not every mineral that you ingest needs to be combined in one tablet every single day. So this particular product, the boxes are all taped up. I'm so sorry. So you can't see them. because if they're open, no one wants an open box. So when
Sure.
these arrive, naturally, when these arrive, they are combined in a certain way where they allow you to take certain ones on certain days. You do not consume the same one every day. So they all have their own little pack, but the packs that are together, like this coenzyme Q10, is blended with supplements that go well together, that work synergistically together. And you don't consume these every day. You consume one on Monday, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday, one on Thursday. And the ones that are
Wow.
combined together, you only take that for that day, and so on and so forth. And you actually get a day off. So you take these, once a day, for 6 days, and you get a seventh day off, because if you have something else that you want to take more of, or if your iron is very low, you get another day to take another dose of iron. So that single day of rest is for you to maybe supplement or just give yourself rest. But this particular product is called Advanced Cyclical Dietary Supplements, because you take them in cycles. You don't have to take
Wow.
one tablet every single day, because most people don't understand. You will not absorb all of the minerals when you take one by itself. You have to take products that work well together.
Well, we're conditioned through marketing. Let's go back decades,
Yeah.
and we still are programmed one a day vitamin.
Yeah.
There's one
Yeah.
vitamin, take it one a day. You just debunked that.
Yes.
That's not the best
Yes.
idea.
So
Yeah.
and if you don't do any research on it, this is exactly how it is. You take one every single day, but all of the minerals are not all in one. You take
Gotcha.
one
Yeah.
one day, one the next day.
Which seems
But
so
yes.
reasonable. And that product that you're talking about there with the supplements, that's not just for hair. That's just in general. That's
Mhm.
what, am I getting that right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Is this true? I've heard that when you take something like a supplement, vitamin, no matter what it is, you're only really getting 60% of it. The rest of it just goes through your system. So you might be saying, vitamin C, 2,000 milligrams a day. I'm going to hit it hard. I got a cold coming on. You're really not getting 2,000. That's
Nope.
big.
And that's why I try to have my clients. It's just like when they visit a doctor. Everyone wants to go to the doctor and just sit right in the chair. Oh, I came 6 months ago. Why do I need to be rechecked and rescanned? That's why they do it, because new things happen. You're essentially a different person every 90 days. So you have to, get rescanned. So when clients reach out to me and they'll say, well, can't you just recommend me something? I'll always say, no, I cannot. I need to do a workup on you. I really don't know if you need all these. You may just need one or two. It's no sense to me giving you all this when you probably just need a few.
It's so true when you think about it. And I just, I use myself as an example. The way I was in October with that virus or whatever, that was then totally different.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm still
Mm-hmm.
feeling some of the after effects of it. Just like if somebody had COVID
Mm-hmm.
I forget what it's called, long something COVID.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're always changing when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Even some people, their weight fluctuates a lot in a short period of time. Why does that happen? There's lots going on in the body.
Yep.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You're like
Yes.
you're like a scientist. It's like super cool, like the insight. And it's not just about hair. It's about holistic health. And I love that. LaRonne, how do we find you? What's your website?
It's hairlosscenternj.com, or you can find us on Google, SBLHairloss LLC. We're in Pleasantville, New Jersey.
Learned a lot today. Truly appreciate it. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.